Brickworks is much more than just a building products manufacturer with operations in Australia and North America. The company also owns and generates earnings from industrial property assets and a significant investments portfolio. Long-term Managing Director Lindsay Partridge joins me on the Stock Network to discuss how Brickworks is positioning itself amid growth challenges confronting Australia's housing and commercial building sectors. Lindsay, welcome to the Stock Network.
Thank you for having me on the Stock Network.
Now, Lindsay, Brickworks stock has soared around 60% in the last 5 years, and you've yet again delivered another solid result in your last interim report. What's your outlook for the growth of the Aussie housing sector, and what factors do you think could impact your forecast?
Well, there's a lot of things that are really pushing it along. We've had this high immigration, we've got very tight rental vacancy rate. The market's really set, but at the moment, I think affordability is the number one thing that's holding it back, and that's because of the higher interest rates. Once we get a couple of drops in interest rates, I think confidence will pick up and you're going to see the market really take off. And it could take off, really to the end of the decade.
That is a very bullish forecast. In the US, you're also a significant player in the USA brick manufacturing sector. How do you believe America is perhaps handling the factors that you've identified as holding back Australia's home building sector?
Well, the biggest difference, of course, in America, they have these 30-year fixed mortgage rates. And interesting, a lot of people sort of refinanced when interest rates were really low. And so 70% of people have an interest rate below 4%. Well, they're not selling, they're keeping that house because they can't afford the current interest rates. But having said that, the current interest rates actually stabilized in late 2022. So they've had 18 months of steady interest rates. And so therefore we've seen a big uplift already in the demand for housing. And there's numbers of builders that are reporting 30 and 40% increases in demand.
Now, when it comes to your joint venture property trust, you've got some quality assets that you've successfully developed, but how do you plan to maintain the growth trajectory?
Well, the thing that we've done in the last few years, and it wasn't easy through COVID, but we moved one of our big plants to another site, and that allowed us to release a whole lot more land, which we call the Oakdale East Estate. So at the moment, we're the only industrial property trust that can offer large blocks of land for large buildings, and because of that, we're getting a lot of demand. So I think in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see that run very strongly as that land that we've got available now gets developed out.
Okay, and Lindsay, on a personal note, you're a prime example of how individuals can enter the C-suite without a finance or legal degree. What advice can you offer people such as engineers, geologists, and really others with non-financial related degrees wanting to join the senior executive ranks?
Yes, actually, I always thought that was an advantage. But anyhow, look, I'm a ceramic engineer by profession, and I've worked in my area of profession, and so that's what's gave me a great advantage. I mean, I'm obviously going to know more about making bricks than an accountant. But the other really important thing I'd say to any young person coming through is that don't get caught in a silo. Like, don't get caught in production or sales or accounting. Very early in your career, move from silo to silo to silo and build up your experience. So when you get to the top of any one silo, it's quite easy then to make the jump across, to general management and running the whole business. So do something you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. If you love it, you'll be good at it. And that's my recommendation when a young person coming through.
Well, Lindsay, you clearly love bricks. Thank you, and congratulations on your success as a professional and with Brickworks.
Thank you very much, Lel.